Important detail that the president filled in this morning, Gabe. Thank you for pointing that one out.
Right. Look, yesterday was photo op diplomacy, and I fear it's flip-flop diplomacy. It seems like every day there's a different vision that President Trump wants to put out there, depending upon who he speaks with last. Today, Fox News, meaning, oh, no, I'm not going to put American troops at risk. Well, what's the point of security guarantees then? If you're Ukrainian, you hear that and you think Budapest Agreement, other past agreements that did not hold when Russia invaded. So the idea of putting these two men in the room, it's a photo op idea. We need a diplomatic end state. But if you don't bring Vladimir Putin to the table where he's truly ready to make concessions, it's a useless exercise. And in fact, it would set back a lot of the international work to try to stop this war.
I do think that's one.
And look, let's be honest here. Like, what was the previous several years getting us? Nothing. And so coming to the table.
Well, that's not true.
Yes, it is, because
it's called protecting Ukraine from getting taken over by Russia's invasion.
Oh, really? We get some more airstrikes.
And the last I checked, this was going to be resolved with a phone call.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, look, the president, he claims that he wants a ceasefire, then he doesn't. What got even Putin to the point of discussing this was the possibility of more sanctions. Now he doesn't want more sanctions. And there are 90 senators who have co-sponsored new sanctions legislation.
You never
to place
get that on the Hill anymore.
It's impossible to get 90 senators unified in one piece of legislation in the middle of a hot war, no less. So, you know, the president's kind of a wet noodle right now. He is trying to see what sticks. I think he saw, and we may have seen yesterday, that he knows the road to a Nobel Peace Prize goes through Europe. So he wants these European leaders on his side. And so we don't really have a clear vision on how to end this war. And the United States is not putting the kind of requisite pressure into the mix that we need to get Vladimir Putin to legitimately make concessions.
Yeah. And Joel, thanks for being with us, because with your State Department experience, I'm going to want a translator. So first, when the Kremlin responds in this way, utmost care, we're taking our time while the military offensive is happening, what do you hear?
Well, clearly the boss, Putin, wants a little more out of Donald Trump than he's gotten. And quite frankly, I don't think this should be a surprise to anybody. Look, Donald Trump, by meeting with Vladimir Putin last week, gave away the store. He gave away the political isolation that had been built for the last several years to keep Putin at bay until there was a meeting that was meaningful. But by meeting with Trump on American soil, Putin got what he needed. He got his photo op. He doesn't need any more. Now he needs to continue this war, keep the pressure on Ukraine militarily, and hope to continue to try to crack the American-European alliance. And so he's in no rush.
Matt, Joel, what do you see in this?
Well, Ali, I keep on thinking, wouldn't it be great if we had a multilateral security institution in the heart of Europe that would guarantee security for all of its members? Oh,
Wouldn't it be?
Wouldn't it be? Wait, we've got one. It's called NATO. Use what you got. Why settle for the imitation when you can get the real thing, to paraphrase Walter White? Why have Diet Coke when you can get the classic? And I just think this dancing on the pin's head of a needle here is just ridiculous. And the United States, we have our NATO allies there. That is what Putin fears. That is another lever that we can use to get a diplomatic agreement. All this dancing around other mechanisms only strengthens Putin's negotiating hand.
Yeah, look, you make a great point that they have made clear NATO-like has been the phrase that we've continued to hear used. But at the same time, you could just do NATO, though Trump has taken that off the table and said that is not an option for Ukraine, at least at this point.